Mandela effects that will alter your perception of reality, Part 1. Many iPhone users recall there being a robber emoji with a beanie, a black and white striped shirt, and a money bag thrown over his shoulder. However, this emoji never existed. In Star Wars Episode 5 The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader does not say the words, "Luke, I am your father." He actually says this.
"No, I am your father."
There was never a Disney intro where Tinkerbell dotted the I in Disney with her wand. Curious George does not have a tail. He never did. And Pikachu never had a black tip at the end of his. The Fruit of the Loom logo does not have a cornucopia. And if you look at the logo's 130-year history, not once did it have a cornucopia in it. And contrary to popular belief, I was never verified on TikTok. But drop a follow and maybe this one will become a reality. Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you, Part 6. Greeks, Romans, and Spartans were really into anal for both sexes. Male warriors would do it as a sign of camaraderie and brotherhood, and women would do it before marriage as they only had to be vaginal virgins to get married. The first ever condoms were made of discarded animal parts, such as pig intestines and lambskin. Queen Victoria's oldest son, King Edward VII, had a love chair custom made for having sex with multiple people at the same time. The same chair later sold for $4 million. In ancient Greece, large peepees were a sign that someone was foolish or stupid, which is why many statues depict small peepees because this was a sign of intellect. When Phryne, an Athenian on trial in ancient Greece, flashed her boobs to the court, the judges thought they were so perfect that they decided to spare her life. Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 21. This photo shows 8-month-old Zhao Bao who was lucky to be alive because his mother stabbed him 90 times after he bit her while she was breastfeeding him. The world's scariest haunted house, McCamey Manor, requires you to sign a 40-page waiver and undergo a physical and mental evaluation. If you manage to make it through the house, you could win $20,000, but to this day, no one has ever made it through. The little girl who voiced Ducky in The Land Before Time was shot to death by her father, who then committed suicide. Roman Emperor Nero had a boy castrated, dressed him up as a bride, and married him, all because the boy looked similar to his previous dead wife. A 46-year-old man found and attacked a 13-year-old boy because the kid was killing him too many times in a game of Call of Duty. Deadliest disasters in human history, Part 1. In 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart 73 seconds into its flight, killing all 7 crew members aboard. The astronauts actually lived through the initial explosion and survived for nearly 3 minutes before they died on impact with the water. In 1184, a group of nobles gathered in a room in the Church of St. Peter above the latrine pit of the monks. All of a sudden, the floor collapsed due to their combined weight, causing 60 nobles to fall to their death into a pool of poop and sewage. In 1893, gifts were being passed out at a magic show in Victoria Hall. Over 1,000 kids tried to force themselves down a narrow staircase that led to a single door that opened inward. Only one child at a time could pass through, causing 183 children to be crushed to death. Seemingly innocent paintings with sinister backstories, Part 1. This disturbing self-portrait was painted by American serial killer and sex offender John Wayne Gacy. He was known as the Killer Clown and assaulted and murdered at least 33 young boys. After being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, artist William Utermohlen created a series of self-portraits to track the progression of his disease. And as you can see from the paintings, over time he began to forget what his own face looked like. This normal-looking painting of a bird in front of a sunset has a surprisingly dark artist behind it. If you look in the bottom right corner, you will see the signature of infamous cult leader and murderer Charles Manson, who was charged with the murders of 9 people in 1971. Weirdest world records that will make your skin crawl, Part 3. Gary Turner, a sideshow act from the UK, holds the world's stretchiest skin. He has a rare medical condition that affects his connective tissues, allowing him to stretch his skin in extreme ways. A rescue kitty from the UK is confirmed to have the world's loudest purr of any domestic cat. Merlin is capable of purring at 67.8 decibels, about as loud as a vacuum cleaner. California painter Nick Stobarrel, aka The Lick, has the world record for the longest tongue, measuring a staggering 3.97 inches. You don't think that's impressive? 4 inches is long, right? Joel Migler from Germany has more flesh tunnels on his body than anyone else in the world. He has 11 tunnels all over his face, including his nose and lips, but his largest tunnels are on his cheeks. The female world record for the most orgasms in an hour is 134. The male world record is a gargantuan 16. And the record for the most liked video on TikTok is 53 million. So like this video and let's beat that record. Life-saving advice from movies that can actually kill you. So, according to Hollywood, if someone is passed out with no pulse, you should straddle them, give them mouth to mouth, and beat on their chest like a goddamn gorilla until eventually they come back to life and everything is completely normal. Now, I'm not saying CPR doesn't work, but it only works like 2 to 4% of the time, and when properly performed, you usually end up cracking the person's ribcage. You know, death sounds like a pretty good option as opposed to someone literally shattering my ribs and slobbering down my throat. I feel like this one should be pretty obvious, but taking a bullet to the arm or leg does not just make you bleed a little bit and leave you able to fight off enemies completely unfazed. About half the time you get shot in the arm, it literally never works. Ever again. But if you do get shot anywhere, you better hope and pray that it's your ass. Tons of fat, no major arteries, you'll be fine. I mean, especially if you're this guy. He would definitely be fine. The McCamey Manor Conspiracy, or the real-life Squid Game. McCamey Manor is said to be the most extreme haunted house in the world, but is actually a physical and psychological torture chamber where you sign away your body for a chance at a grand prize. And the actors in this house don't just jump out and scare you, they waterboard you, rip out your teeth, and even break your bones. To win the money, you simply have to survive for 8 hours, but this is no easy task considering the longest someone has ever survived is for 6 hours, and this was done by a US Marine. The owner of the house, Russ McCamey, is rumored to livestream the event to Thailand and Las Vegas. Supposedly, he charges people to view the stream and allows people to gamble on the participants. Some have even said that they were forced to quit early and that the $20,000 prize doesn't even exist. So is this just some extreme haunted house, or is this something much deeper?